service provider to the final consumer remains unanswered. But we've got the answer.
What are the rights and limitations of you, the consumer?
What are the rights and limitations of you, the consumer, the producer, and even the regulator in today's Nigeria? Don't miss Prosumer Forum on Human Rights Radio, 101.1 FM.
Bringing together Nigeria's producers, consumers, the regulatory bodies, discussing their challenges and common goals. The question is who gets value from the service.
Bringing together Nigeria's producers, consumers, and the regulatory bodies, discussing their challenges and common goals. The question of who gets value from the service provider to the final consumer remains unanswered. But we've got the answer.
What are the rights and limitations of you, the consumer?
What are the rights and limitations of you, the consumer, the producer, and even the regulator in today's Nigeria? Don't miss Prosumer Forum on Human Rights Radio, 101.1 FM.
Good afternoon once again. It's 40 minutes into the 3 o'clock hour. A beautiful day it's been. I hope you're having a good time. I hope your day is going just as planned. Even if it's not, just stay right here. We have everything to give you. Okay, not maybe everything, but we have a lot to give you to just help your day to move on smoothly and for you to put a smile on your face at all times. My name is Ruth, and it is time for Prosumer Forum. I'm not alone in the studio. I have Adana. Adana, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Good afternoon, Ruth.
Yeah, Adana is our in-house lawyer, but then she's also a consumer. So today, you know, for the benefit of those listening right now, or even for the first time, she's here as a consumer.
Thank you.
To join me in this discussion we're going to have. On this Prosumer Forum, it's a program that focuses on ensuring that producer and consumer have a good relationship. Sometimes they seem to be at war for one reason or the other. Maybe the consumer feels I'm not getting what I really deserve, or the quality of what I deserve for the services, you know, I receive from this service provider or producer. And
you know, they always say, sorry Ruth, you know, they always say the customer is right. He's always right.
Nice.
And unfortunately, consumers are not always satisfied because we all have different tastes. So this program, we'll keep working on it, maybe for a lifetime.
All right, then let's see how it goes. Well, today on this episode, we will take a look at a very, very basic item which is being consumed by a lot of us, millions of people, especially here in Nigeria, both children and adults, both Adana and myself. I'm a huge fan. We're talking about bread today. Yes. Bread. When was the last time you had bread?
Well, I stopped like 2 years ago.
What?
But then I still admire those who eat bread.
So by stop, like you stopped completely?
Oh yes, I stopped.
You've not
completely.
tasted maybe just once, or
I have tasted a bit.
Okay, but
yeah.
then
Yes.
we are not going to ask her reasons for not eating, but I'm a huge fan. If a day passes by without me eating it, I feel it.
I used to be like that. I was addicted to bread.
Really? I'm not sure if it's an addiction though, but then it's food.
And I ate every bread.
All kinds.
I mean every bread. I had no particular one.
Okay.
You know, once it's called bread, I don't even look at the label. I eat it.
Okay. Once it is called bread. And in this country, we are actually menu. That's one. And then as many as we are, we have many producers.
Yeah.
People who make things, whether they're things to eat or things to wear and stuff like that. And so we have a lot of people who produce and bake bread. Interestingly, now have you noticed that you may not have been eating bread a lot lately, but then have you noticed the hike in price?
Oh yes, Ruth.
A few years
I
ago, maybe
have.
bread that used to be sold at 200 naira, right now it goes for as high as 500.
Yes, Ruth. That's the truth. You know, bread is so expensive right now. I don't think bread is it's longer a poor man's food. It used to be a poor man's food, but not anymore. It's really expensive now.
Well, regardless of the hike in price, I
Yes.
still see bread. You know, it's not like you go out there to the stores and stuff and you will not see bread. You still see bread as many as all kinds. In fact, there are actually newer, bakery springing up because you just see bread and sometimes I'm like, what is this? Some look very colorful because
Yeah.
they.
And then
you know,
there's
just
there are a lot of them. We have the flour, the wheat, you know, and then bread is the common food of every Nigerian family. I don't think there's a home you walk into that
And
won't
you not
have
see
bread
that.
available somewhere.
And that's why even regardless of the hike, so many people still consume it.
They can't
I
stop.
still buy. I was thinking that because the one that's actually like my favorite, because the price just rose high up there. I was like, okay, maybe I'll stop eating it, but somehow I'm unable to. Well, then we will be focusing on quite a number of things as it concerns the production standards and consumer safety around the production of bread. How about easy access to regulatory bodies, consideration for consumer safety, distribution and recall, storage and transportation? Finally, the agencies responsible for regulation. Now, we're talking about food, something you eat, something that goes inside of you. And in Nigeria, we've noticed that bread, like you said, as long as it is bread, you eat it.
It's
I have seen bread without any label.
yeah.
You just
And people
see it
buy
wrapped
them.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, bread is baked like cake. Once you learn it, you bake it. You know, so most of the people baking this bread are not aware of the Consumer Protection Council policies or the NAFDAC policies or those ingredients they are not supposed to put in bread. They don't know about it. They just bake.
There's a way they say something in Hausa that describes the way certain types of bread, is being made. They say, well, people just mix it with their legs. Okay, yeah, I just said that because I don't know. Some people will understand what I'm trying to say here, because there are so many people who are involved in the production of bread now, and some of them may not really be in a very hygiene situation or condition. And then once you just see it, the aroma when you're passing by, and then you can tell that there's a bakery nearby.
Definitely.
It does something to my brain, trust me. Now, Nigeria's bread subsector is growing at a fast pace, with over 72% of the industry being dominated by small and medium scale bakers, according to reports. Now, bread is a staple food on the tables of many Nigerians, obviously so. It is usually made from wheat flour dough that is cultured with yeast and allowed to rise. Sometimes when you want to buy, you look for. I remember some years back, though, sometimes you see that some are bigger than the others, and they still go for the same price. I don't know what happened.
think
Maybe
the
it had
yeast-
more yeast in. I don't know.
Definitely.
But then again, it has been reported that some bakeries still use products that are not allowed, such as potassium bromate, in bread production, maintaining that this had prompted the introduction of mandatory registration of bread by the agency since 2007. Now, the use of potassium or bromate was not permitted in the country. Now, there are some bread, I've seen, and something just tells me that this looks like a bread that has bromate. Bromate is one of the substances not allowed in, the production of bread because of the properties it, has. But then I think they used to use it very well, because then what I learned about it is that it helps increase the lifespan of the bread. It stays for
Really?
longer without going bad.
But bread still goes bad when it stays longer. The thing with Nigerians who eat bread is that it's an easy food. It's an easy food, an easy accessed food for them at all points in time. And we're just interested in getting our stomach filled,
Well, a few years ago, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, ordered fresh mandatory registration of bread following a discovery of the use of potassium bromate by bakeries in the production of bread. To this end, the agency vowed to intensify efforts amid aimed at proper monitoring of bread production throughout the federation. Now, how is this being put in place? I don't know just to what extent, the agency has gone to ensure that we know at least the major bakeries in town.
Well, I'd appreciate if our callers would call to give their own advice on this case, because I don't know how possible it is for these agencies to understudy the bakeries located all over the place in Nigeria making bread. I don't know how much they can go further to sensitize we the consumers, to tell us this is the kind of bread you should not eat, or this is how bread looks when it has bromates, because most people would put it in the bread, but it's not listed amongst the ingredients for the bread. So I'd urge our callers to give us their own view about this bread issue, because bromate is very harmful to every human body, but most of us consume bread every day, just like you said.
Every day.
Yes.
Well, supposedly a task force team with the regulatory agencies, I feel, is supposed to detect and identify those unregistered bakeries whose production standards might not meet the safety needs and concerns of the consumers. But the question is, do we have such?
The thing is, are all bakeries registered? No.
No is the obvious answer. I mean, because...
Are all bakers baking in a bakery? No. It's same as producing pure water, It's same as making cake. I learned how to make cake. I decided to make it in my house. I bring it out there and sell. Nobody's going to stop me. That's the same thing happening with bread. So people learn how to bake bread and they start producing it from their backyards because they know it's a need for the consumers who are out there. So consumers will definitely buy,
But talking about, this task force, I feel that this can be a way for the regulatory body to really be able to identify these bakeries that are not registered for the sake of the health of Nigerians. And it may not be an easy, that's why it's going to be a task force. That's just your job. Go out there, go to all the corners, all the places that, because some of these things, that's where they do them. Maybe outskirts, wherever. I'm sure they would know how to, go about these things, because you may just be passing the aroma, you can't hide it. So they may just, be passing by and then you can sense it, or if they have informants, I just don't know, but something just has to be done, because people just see, and those kind of bread, they're the ones that really have the nicest of, smell.
Taste.
And when you hold them, they're fluffy
so
and
yes. But then from my own point, I'd advise that units who would monitor these people baking should be deployed in different areas where consumers can have access to them to make reports, especially when they find out that such products are not labeled,
and yet they're in the market.
People and yet they're in the market and people are buying, and they are rising with the known bread that has the price on it. So when the known bread rises in price, they also increase their prices, but then they are not then they are not good for the consumers. So this task force should be deployed down to these areas where the products are coming from, and people are not aware that the products are not the healthy ones. And then sensitization is very important.
Yeah. I saw this bread, and I know that it's not from this town. It's from another state, and I was discussing it with a colleague, and he's like, "Oh yeah, they were producing it here." So I'm like, "Are you telling me that it's not a subsidiary from the original?" He's like, "No, someone just decided to take the name up, and the person is selling it here." And so I'm sure he must have either tasted and felt like, "Oh, there's a difference. This does not taste like the one I know from this other place." And these are things that I think if they follow up, they should be.
They should be.
We're talking about the lives of Nigerians. Well then, let's hear from you. It's Prosumer Forum, and on this platform we talk about producers, we talk about consumers, we talk about the rights that the producer exercises, likewise the one that the consumer also exercises. How can they get to meet at a level ground and understand each other. So feel free to call in on the program and let's hear your contribution. Those bread eaters, what are your experiences? What are your suggestions as to how we can have safer bread in town? Because we love
For
to
our
eat
health.
bread. How can we have safer bread in town? So call the number 081-8999-1011. That is 081-8999-1011. Okay? So sometimes some people may also be of the opinion that even if you had the opportunity to go report to these agencies responsible, response from them may just take forever. We'll get back to that. Let's see who's here. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome to Prosumer Forum.
Yeah, this is I'm calling from the Goma.
Okay, I am. We're listening.
Yeah, I've been following the program.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a way out for this problem.
Tell us, please.
Yeah, you see, like as a young man, you know, sometimes in the evening like this, I go around, as I see any shy around, you know, I may like to go in and take in my breakfast or sometimes even dinner. Yeah, what I think about this is that, like you have talked about the tax force, I think this will be a way of also reducing unemployment in the nation. More tax force should be employed, and they can be deployed to all over the nation. And maybe, like, let me say in Lokogoma area, if we can have like 3 to 5 task forces, they can just maybe like I said earlier, they can just go around, you know, in their mufti, you know, just go to one meshai and maybe, how are you? Let me see your bread. Before you know, they will be able to know if the bread has the requirement for a good bread.
Okay.
So by the time they identify any fault, you know, they can easily tackle it. I think in this way we'll be able to reduce the problem.
Okay. All right. Yeah, thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you.
He spoke about the Meshai joints. I mean, obviously he's
Exactly.
one of us. Oh, at least one of me.
So, if I may add to what Yaya is saying, he's right. But then these people he's talking about recruiting are the people that needs to be sensitized that this is how you go about your job, you know? Because a million of Nigerians eating bread don't know the health hazards of bromides.
Okay.
You know? They're not even aware.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Prosumer Forum.
My name is Chikuma from Environmental.
Okay, Chikuma, go ahead.
Yes, we used to go to the bread bakeries, understand? We used to enter them, but we are not asking about the registration. So I don't know whether we start to ask them.
Okay,
We used to enter, and we know all of them. We are National Community Peace and Value Environmental. We know all of them.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
You hear me, ba?
I understand. We can hear you.
So we know all of them.
Okay.
So if una need us to be taking a proper registration about them, so we'll be writing them down. We know all of them.
Okay, where are you working from? Where do you go from? What's your
We are
organization?
National Community Peace and Value Environmental from Gwagwa Division.
Okay. And one of your duty is to check bakeries, yeah?
Okay, yes. If you people need the registration about all of them, we know all of them. The whole city, stroke Niger State, stroke Kaduna, we know all of them.
Okay, Mr. Chikuma, I was talking about people like you, agencies like you, who are to sensitize people around
Okay, sir.
to report to you cases of bakeries that are not registered.
Yes.
For the benefit of the consumers.
We will be asking them, but we are just
Most of them are supposed to be.
environmental work, but we are not asking them registration.
Exactly. So you're supposed to be asking them if they are registered or they have a license to start baking to give to people. And then you need to also know the ingredients they use. Like we were saying earlier, bromate is not good for health. Yes.
We do check them whether they expire. So they check whether they expire.
Exactly. So you should go for that to ask more questions and make inquiries.
To ask them the registration. So we're recording them those that did not register.
You can ask them if they are registered or they have a license to bake for consumers.
Okay.
Yeah, this is for protection of consumers.
Okay, we'll be asking them.
All right, Chukwuma, thank you very much.
Thank you for calling.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, interesting thought there. It's Prosumer Forum on Human Rights Radio 101.1, 3:33 is studio time check. We'll be going on a quick break. We'll see you in just a bit.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة إلا الله.
Your right, my right, our right. Everybody's right is protected. Human Rights Radio 101.1, redefining broadcasting.
Bringing together Nigeria's producers, consumers, the regulatory bodies, discussing their challenges and common goals. The question is who gets value from the service provided.
Bringing together Nigeria's producers, consumers, and the regulatory bodies. Discussing their challenges and common goals. The question of who gets value from the service provider to the final consumer remains unanswered. But we've got the answer.
What are the rights and limitations of you, the consumer?
What are the
producer?
rights and limitations of you, the consumer, the producer, and even the regulator in today's Nigeria? Don't miss Prosumer Forum on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM.
It's still Prosumer Forum right here on Human Rights Radio 101.1. My name is Ruth. I have been speaking in the studio with Adanna. She is our in-house lawyer. And today on the program, we're looking at everything that has to do with bread. And like you know, Prosumer Forum focuses on the producer and consumer. We try to see what challenges, what rights exist, and how everyone can be happy. I know the producer wants the customer to be happy at the end of the day.
Definitely.
The consumer as well wants to be happy with the services provided by the producer. But then sometimes one or two things gets in the way, and there is some level of dissatisfaction from either party.
Definitely.
All right, so we have been looking at the whole bread issue, whether or not, certain regulatory bodies, especially like NAFDAC, is doing anything to ensure that Nigerians can eat their bread with their eyes closed, not, wondering where did it come from, what kind of substances are included, and everything.
And how bad their health could be affected.
Yeah, could be affected. So hopefully, God willing, we will continue this conversation another time, but then we will ensure to have a bakery owner, at the same time a representative from the Consumer Protection Council, so we can discuss really, and hear maybe challenges from the producer's angle, and then again what the consumer, the customer, gets to do, what rights the consumer may have in this. But then as the listener right now, we encourage you to call in on the show. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear your experiences. If there's anything that can help people, because we eat these things every day. Some may be well packaged.
Exactly.
Maybe well packaged, even sold very expensively. But then the whole process, the whole process of production is another thing.
Yeah.
Whether or not it is done in a hygienic
place
and all that.
the mode of storage.
Yeah. Transportation. There are a lot of times you see this bread, maybe
Packed
a bike
up
man, sometimes they put them
in a wooden box.
Yeah, and use maybe
a small nylon
to just cover it over.
To cover it.
I've bought bread. Okay, I think it was my younger brother one time, and then there was fly inside. So you want to start imagining what had happened. The fly found its way into it, and the person who covered everything up didn't see it. So
It happens.
There's just so much. I mean, people who produce bread, please, Biko, try and help us. 08189991011 is the number to call. Let's hear your contribution. Hello. Okay. That call is not allowed to be picked. Let's see. Okay, there seems to be a problem with this one. But call me right back. It's 08189991011. Let's hear what your take is. Sometimes you buy them and maybe they've stayed for a long time in the stores. And I think people too who are store owners should know where to put certain things like bread. It has a way of...
getting really bad.
Yeah, and it takes on the the smell of a certain environment, and
Definitely.
when you're eating it. Okay, let's see who's here. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Welcome to the program. What's your name?
My name is Rotimi Alondare.
Rotimi, nice to
I'm
have you.
calling
Please.
from Buhari.
Okay, if your radio is on, do us a favor and turn it off, please.
Okay, is it okay?
I hope so.
Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
go ahead.
It's better.
What I see in this issue, you know, we consumers, there is a level of poverty which people eat anyhow. For instance, early in the morning now, you see all these innocent Nigerians, they will just go to all these peshai. And you find out they are selling bread at the rate of 50 naira, a loaf of bread. Tell me, what ingredients did they use to make that bread? So it would be better if you can have an agency controlling them to go around and monitor those people selling chai, call themselves chai. For me now, if I want to take something like that, you can't call bread, a loaf of bread for me 15 naira, then I'll purchase it. What they need, they want is that their stomach should be full. I would like the agency to go and monitor, as the first caller said, they should go around and see those people selling that bread. You see the bread without label. When you call how much is the bread, they will tell you 100 naira. When you take a cup of tea at the rate of 120 with
That's exactly what I
bread,
was saying.
you
Yes.
can see the bread is not okay. They got there for us, we consumers.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, but then he also brought up this issue of poverty, because I mean, you only spend what you have, and if you see something that you need that is within range of what you have,
you have
it's-
to
it's
buy
what
it.
you have to, yeah.
Yes. You know, I earlier stated that most of us just want to have something in our stomach. And bread is like the easiest food anybody can afford in
You don't
Nigeria.
have to wash anything. You
You don't have to
cook.
wash, you don't have
Just-
to cook,
just
you don't have
buy
to put it in a
eat.
plate, just buy it and eat. And it's really filling. So
Yeah.
the consumers needs to be sensitized. And then I don't know if these agencies that are existing for this consumer protection really do the pricing, the policies on pricing.
Okay, we'll get back.
Thank
to
you.
that.
Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello. Good afternoon.
Yes, I was one among the food that you bread.
Thank
Okay,
you.
turn off your radio.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good
afternoon.
afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Lugbe.
Okay, Emmanuel.
Yes.
Go ahead. You said you're one of.
Yes, I took bread before. I want to encourage concerning that their mixer. You know, there is a place they used to mix. They
Okay.
have to be using machines instead of using manual. People to use hand to mix. You see, if they are mixing like that, all the sweat on your body and everything.
My point exactly. So wait, is it true sometimes some people mix with their legs? Or I mean, they may wash the leg, but you know, for easy mixture and all that.
They may wash the leg. Even if they wash the leg.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, but you're encouraging them to not use their hands.
And
Because-
because to mix, you know, I was a mixer. I used hand and all the sweat and everything be coming down to the bath of the
Oh,
machine. So they
my
encourage them not to be using bath manual and they should use machine.
Mr. Ima, was that bakery registered?
Yes?
Was that bakery registered? Did you people have NAFDAC number?
Yes, actually we have. You know, this one is in Makodi. So I was only a worker there. I don't know much like that. My own is when the ingredient is mixed, I go inside the bath and start my mixing, start my work.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ima.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. We really appreciate.
Oh my
So
goodness.
this is one of the cases that would actually tell the consumers out there that what we were stating earlier is true.
True.
Yeah. You know, so we have a lot of these bakeries or bakers who are there making bread and mixing with hand.
With their sweat.
And all that.
You don't
We're
know.
advising our bakeries to, you know, get better machines to mix these things for consumers. Because sweat in the food is not healthy. It could cause all forms of diseases.
I can't help but think about other things that must have fallen into, you know, those bread. Cause
Please don't think, so
when
that you don't
someone has
discourage people
cold-
from eating bread.
Well, if I am not discouraged, trust me, it's from within. If I am not discouraged, there are people who will not be. But then the truth is, really, we may laugh over a few of these things, but who would want to just naturally sit and eat someone else's sweat? Or
Well, I think
the person has cold.
every bakery out there listening to us right now, or the bakers, should take the advice of this young man and get their mixers. If you can't get a mixer, then partner with those who have mixers.
Yeah.
You know,
At least
and share
one way or the
profits.
other, you be a stakeholder.
And you know, protect consumers, because 1 or 2 days or sometime in life, one of the consumers might likely be your relative.
Not likely. They have to eat the bread
or your
they're
children.
making.
So you have to be careful and consider the consumers as you. Thank you.
Interesting. Well, let's hear more. I think we have a few more minutes. Okay, very few. Well, let's see if we can get one last call. 081-8999-1011. That is 081-8999-1011. Prosumer Forum for today's episode has focused on the production of
And
bread.
consumption of bread.
And consumption of bread as well. The challenges, the risks many consumers, stand to incur
Face.
because of so many people not following, due process in
And
this
mass production of bread.
Yeah, there is still mass production. There was a time, it was all in the news. The flour has risen, milk, every, and then the price hiked. But even at that, the production,
Still increased.
is still there. Well, then, like I said earlier, we will revisit this, but hopefully at that time that we hope to get a bakery owner so we can hear maybe some of the challenges they encounter being the
Exactly.
producers, and then we get also a representative from the Consumer Protection Council. So we get to hear too what are those things that they have also done to ensure that consumers
Are
of
protected.
things like bread really are protected, because you never can
Exactly.
tell who from your family will eat from these things that could just bring about some diseases or kill even.
Yeah.
All right, then, looking at the time, I think we have to just draw the curtain at this point. But it's been an interesting conversation. Just keep it right here on Human Rights Radio 101.1. Adana has done a really good job keeping me company here. And even though she's not a fan of bread, she used to. But right now, she's just an observer. But
Thank you for having me.
I am still a huge fan. So please, if you know you are a baker, please, for my sake and many others like me, let's do the right thing. But thanks for being a part of the show. To everyone who listened in and called in on the show as well. Let's do this again. Stay right here. Telephone Vanna, yeah? At 4 p.m. Just stay with us. My name is Ruth.
And I'm Adana. Thank you.
Bringing together Nigeria's producers, consumers, the regulatory bodies, discussing their challenges and common goals. The question is who gets value from the service model.
Bringing together Nigeria's producers, consumers, and the regulatory bodies. Discussing their challenges and common goals. The question of who gets value from the service provider to the final consumer remains unanswered. But we've got the answer.
What are the rights and limitations of you, the consumer?
What are the rights and limitations of you, the consumer, the producer, and even the regulator in today's Nigeria? Don't miss Prosumer Forum on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. This is your magazine radio station. Listen.
It's only today that my daughter gets chance to eat food.
Past 2 months now, you be in your shop selling before you know your child will disappear.
Listen.
My own. That is what is killing us. They demolish everything. They burn all our things. Even my credentials, even my children own. Up to the extent, no clothes, nothing.
Government cannot give us everything we want. And as a youth, the little you have, you can use it to establish yourself.
Given a voice to the voiceless. 101.1 FM. Listen.